Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to continue to take a look at the scenario of the alternate future of the world. In the last episode there was a pretty peaceful era. We also saw the birth of the East African Federation, I think. There was the Sudanese Civil War, and at the end we also saw that there were going to be the US elections in November of 2024. So the candidates are there there is well m- maybe the current there is Joe Biden once for the Democrats, and there's also a Republican guy, which I don't think it could be Trump because of the two mandates limit, but I guess I don't know. Well, if it's not Trump, then it's someone else. I guess you guys make it up for yourself. Anyways, we have these elections and we show it with flags. And basically, what happens is that Biden wins. Well, not well, Biden kind of wins. Well, not exactly, but this. I know, guys. Screw this. You guys make up for yourself the names of the Democrat wins, but it's not a normal Democrat because this guy hates Russia, like, and this is Theo. Still hates this. And he hates how this second Cold War is turning the world. He doesn't like this at all. So what's going to happen is that immediately after he sets up everything and he gets elected, he starts becoming even more aggressive. And basically, the Second Cold War resumes. Oh no, that's not good. It resumes with Azerbaijan joining NATO, which is pretty controversial, especially for Armenia. And in this region over here, I'm not even going to because these guys, I think they're actually in conflict with each other. Well, since it's an alternate timeline, the kind of weird, and basically they're forced both to retreat from this area, which kind of becomes a buffer zone, and that's it. Then the chaos continues as the tensions keep on growing because they can still this anti-Russian sentiment because they have expanded a lot, and they're also challenging US influence, which is definitely not. And we also see Turkmenistan join the CSTO, which is another challenge. US and also Brazil is in the Atlantic. That's the reason they managed to join. Basically, now there were tensions again. Troops are going everywhere. People virtually now are rearming themselves. A norms race started. All those crises they keep happening. until something happens in Bosnia. Nothing. No, yeah. They're not even going to sink into the ocean. You guys thought it was something was going to happen in Bosnia. Well, it's kind of a contended land, but Bosnia decides to stay neutral, and no one is getting Bosnia as an ally. Meanwhile, oh, oh, yeah, that happened. Serbia, of course, is furious because they think Kosovo is a rebellious state thing, and of that context, and now it's allied with the U.S. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Also, Russia, I think, doesn't recognize. It's kind of coming weird. And now CSTO is accusing NATO of escalating the tensions, and of course, it isn't budging. And now it looks like this isn't going to end well. What happens with the PDTO instead? Wait, yeah, let me check something. Basically, Bangladesh is in the CSTO now. I know. Also, sorry for not talking a lot in this episode. We're kind of running out of ideas because there's not much room for smaller events, but there is room for some big events. And I'm not saying it's happening in this episode, but we'll see. We'll also see this guy's getting influenced in the join. And don't ask me how, but Uzbekistan manages to survive the influence boom. And now it's just the Cold War all over again. There's once again the curtain, the well, proxy war not that much, but I think you guys understood. There's going to be, of course, some Russian airplanes flowing in into this province of Ukraine. So I'm going to show it like this. How's helmet called? Yeah. There's also going to be some things happening over here, drones over here during the course of the year. I don't know why this is Estonian. This will be Swedish. And basically, everything is happening. People are scared, like really scared. Time still passes though, and it seems like everything might calm down. This guy, which is still aggressive. Well, basically, we can just keep over here. Wait, I should cut the. Oh. Well, but now Russia is going to do something interesting. Basically, do you see this small state called Nicaragua? Uh, um, oh. They joined CSTO. The US, of course, call it an act of aggression, but now they're even closer to their doorstep. This makes the US president even more furious, and the tensions in the world keep being high. And you probably increase a little bit too. Meanwhile, we see that India decides to not take sides into this crisis because her leader is a good leader in this matter, and they know that this is just going to be distraction, whatever comes next. And now there are also navies are doing they're now increasing naval activity over this Bering Strait between Russia and the US. I'm going to keep the islands later on for now. Not only that, we also see the Baltic Sea, all the things with Kaliningrad, this, Belarus, and all that. Of course, here there's still going to be some tension, and eventually it's going to happen. Oh, French Guiana is in NATO, by the way. So, like, the tensions build up even more. Army builds up, air builds up, like planes, drones, navies. I think I did everything. No, they're not putting robots on the front line yet. So let's just go over. Oh yeah, I haven't specified something. Basically, this year's president absolutely hates on TSU because Cold War thing. It's kind of interfering with US influence. Yeah, of course it's that. And Russia is just going to answer the same questions. These two giants, and of course also China, which is another giant. You guys may not believe this. The Pacific Ocean, everything is chilling for now. Oh, do you guys feel this? This is a Russian ally. This is kind of Turkish ally, and so in NATO. Oh, see this small little island over here called Malta? The refugee crisis continues, but that's not the bad part. The part is that, of course, there's Libyan naval activity, and also Italian because they're protecting Malta, thanks to Malta is in NATO. They recently joined, I think last episode, and this is after this 2025 passes in, and they think 2026 might chill instead. Nope, nope. They thought 2026 is the breaking point. February 24th of 2026. We see that. Do you guys see this province called Narva? Well, there are some Russians there, and the US orders Estonia to kind of not jail them, but there's kind of a segregation thing. It's not nice. And Russia is not liking this at all. And now they're going to free the prisoners. They're going to free the Russians. Basically, what happened in Ukraine, it's going to happen to Estonia. Russian troops cross in and conquer Narva. This, for need for the US, is an act of aggression. Article 5 isn't activated, and World War III started in this scenario. Oh, By the way, this happened between the 3 of the morning to 6, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. So in 3 hours, maybe even less. I guess there's is as all members of both alliances joined the war, because of course all of them joined. Well, all of them need to join because otherwise nothing. And now we got this. And if you guys thought you were going to see this only next episode, nope. You're saying it's today because I had no room for small events, so we're just going straight to World War III. We're going to the Eastern Front because this is we see Russian troops keep on invading, and we see that they were already ready. They're already there. We see, of course, the Russian naval blockade over here, and yes, thinking, why is Russia doing all? Remember, they built up their army massively, and they're a bit more powerful, a bit more, and also there's Chinese technology, North Korean technology. Their allies also help them industrialize, and now they're stronger, and they're actually number 2 in the world. This leads to Russia having, of course, it's not only the day. Also, we see Belarusian troops crossing in, taking all this. And also we see this puppet Ukrainian state doing stuff. Oh yeah, this province, there was some chaos. We see that this happened. Poland for now resist because they were actually preparing for this war. Finland will sadly lose a province, but that's really it for now. They're holding on pretty well. The first day, the first hours of the war. It's a pretty quick advancement. But it's not the only front, because we see Armenian troops marching in, taking this. And then we see Iranian troops marching in, completely going over. This front is courtesy of Iran. Move this. We see these are getting completely conquered by Armenia. And Azerbaijan is still holding for now because Turkey is already there. We also see some Black Sea naval fronts, and for now it's kind of stalemated because Russia isn't really focusing here, and oh, the Romanians are actually winning for now though. Oh yeah, this front. Egypt is actually stronger. They were planning. They knew this could happen, so they have a needle bit up. And for this reason, Cyrenaica isn't really that well. Wait, no, I messed up. Sorry, guys. I think this is NATO line. Yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit sick. I said yeah once again. Oh my god. Tripolitania is actually not that well supplied. They attacked Malta. They failed. And now the Italian Navy is ready to land in Tripoli. But then something happens in Africa. A nation which had a dispute with Egypt, a nation which had the rivalry with Egypt, decided to join the war on the side of CSTO to finally defeat their enemy. I'm talking about Ethiopia, which they had a dispute with Sudan, of course. And this leads Sudan into joining the war and also South Sudan. It's this terrorist organization thing with they joined the war. It's to them, believe it or not, it's temporarily on the side of CSTO. Crazy. Basically, no one accepted this. Egypt didn't think that Ethiopia was actually supporting these guys. Yeah, Somaliland and Somalia, they're chilling for now. No one expected South Sudan to finally lock in. Basically, Egypt has to retreat elsewhere, and now they're getting snapped by this. The capital of Sudan is sieged, and they have to evacuate because it gets captured. Sudan was already in shambles. What's left is basically controlled by Egypt. And this is a shocker. This leads to Tripolitania managing to push out Cyrenaica, which was helped. Egypt. Italian navy still going to get close. They're still going to land in Misurata. But that's really it. Why did oh come on, why am I flopping this video? This is supposed to be one of the most important parts in the future of the world. The most important for now. And then flopping with a brush. And as I was saying, this war is kind of this front is kind of stalemated now because of little Tripolitan reinforcements. But now another shocker is going to happen. Well, shocker, kind of. For some reason, Hungarian and Slovakian troops are not helping NATO. Hungary and Slovakia are not in this. For this reason, they're going to get kicked by NATO because they're not responding, they're not helping when they are supposed to. Where's Slovakia, guys? Okay, oh, alright, found it. And guess what's happening next? Come, if I'm able. Oh my god, what a shocker! They joined the CSTO. Nope, nope, nope. NATO lost two of them allies. Basically, everyone is shocked. How? Why is this happening? Well, Hungary was already Russian leaning. Oh, we also see Serbia invading Kosovo. Naturally, being able to take one province for now. But here, Slovakia was also kind of influenced by Hungary. And now together they are moving against their allies. Austria, with this, decides to stay neutral even more. It's a massive shocker. You'd expect Hungary to actually join the war and help Russia. This leads to another whole. And also, Poland didn't expect Slovakia to attack. So they actually lose two provinces. This war is not going well at all. Source wars is that China decides to postpone their invasion of Taiwan to help their allies in World War III, which means that the PDTO is not joining this war. Crazy. But now, there's going to be another shocker. which is for now the biggest one, but we'll not do it. I'm not say it for now because this is not. There's also South American one. This one. Oh wait, yeah, the Civil War is back now once again. Even though this guy volunteered, they're still fighting, and they're basically on neither side. On this side, tribes are kept moving, and Brazil at this point doesn't even know why they joined NATO because they were in Atlantic, but they really know they didn't really want a war like this. For this reason, they're actually pulling out, especially with the US governments like this, which doesn't promote peace. Brazil is out, and very quickly. Really quickly, another ally for the US is gone. But now, for some reason, Azerbaijan is still getting crushed. Only Baku is remaining, and they stand no chance, and they capitulate, officially being defeated. But what is shocking is that Turkey insists you are not fighting anymore. What's going on? They're supposed to fight. Oh, oh, poor guys. They don't know what's about to happen. Basically, we see Turkey, which was kind of already leaning towards Russia. They do it. They join the CSTO. And also the kind of rattle with Greece. There was pretty rationally the population doesn't support this, but they have to budge. Now they have to fight. It's the whole front. The Balkan front is going to completely change. But now let's go to the Baltic. Because Russia is now actually looking in. With their with a lot of troops they have and all of their technology. Estonia doesn't really have a chance. They flee through their islands where Russia decides to not invade for now and they just take the mainland. They also march towards the Riga and Latvia decides to capitulate instead, which leads Lithuania to become even weaker. And so Belarus had a military reform. Now they actually know how to fight and they get defeated too. With this, the war is already turning into a breaking point. Poland is to send reinforcements. For this reason, they evacuate this. And what was left of Ukraine is officially defeated. The world is in shock. Russia is actually beating the US. They are winning the war in a completely unexpected manner. NATO had a lot of countries. NATO actually had the superiority. Everybody was saying Russia was washed. And they demonstrated their superiority once again. Also, no, I'm not Russian. Someone's asking. I'm not a Russian nationalist. I'm Italian, but Italy is not doing so good in this war because I know, but they're probably getting held by other navies in the Mediterranean. No, no. This is completely messed up. So for this reason, this is happening. Oh now. Well, this Bering Strait now the whole z- fight, whole fight going on this strait. Well, the war started in the end of February, so but now it's already becoming unfrozen. So very soon, someone could make a landing there. Yeah, maybe a certain country, or maybe someone else. I can't have a clue. I don't have a clue. Australia and New Zealand are out of the war, by the way, if you guys were asking. How is this going? Well, as already said, Sudan is collapsed. Egypt is this Egypt is capable military though, so they're actually fighting pretty well, and they're actually holding this. But now there are also going to be Turkish troops. Speaking of Turkey, here they make the first moves of the war. Turkish military and Turkish navy are pretty good. And Northern Cyprus is basically supported by Turkey. So recognize Russia. This means that they join the CSTO and they become the legitimate government of Cyprus. And this happens. 30 minutes video, guys. Sorry for my not so good voice today. It kind of seems boring to me this recording. Sorry, guys. Oh, this front. Nope. Basically, Romania is now asking Russia, Russia, please, I need this. My president is kind of Moldova-less. Basically asking for them just to win. Sister is going to lie at them, just going to laugh. And this Transylvania area just gets taken. Now Serbia can take a Romanian city. Montenegro just decided to unite with Serbia just because they actually had good relations. So Montenegro and the rest is even more furious. All of their allies are incompetent. This is what they're saying. How is the Turkish Navy doing? Oh, yeah, Greece economy is not that good, so they're kind of cooked in the war. And eventually, they just leave NATO because they're not getting even that much aid. So at this point, they prefer surrendering, and the CSTO accepts their surrendering. And the peace treaty, though, will still exist. Basically, what else happens is that Finland is holding on. Finland is the absolute MVP of NATO so far. Finnish troops are winning in the Skola front, and they're beating Russia for now. And they might be able to take all of the Kola Peninsula. The Nordic support is also helping them, but they're doing very good. Going over here, um, the US fleet is kind of fighting here. It's not far away, basically because it's well, they're focusing here, and Nicaragua doesn't stand a chance. They might resist a lot, but they collapse. They were just a distraction. And with this, the US says that after this, there's going to be a comeback and that they're going to defeat Russia. The Russian bear has other plans though. This is unfrozen now. Fightings are happening. And we see that the war still submitted there. But Chinese aid is kind of doing the deal. How is war doing? This is kind of still muted, but now Turkish troops are getting ready to fight on the Egyptian soil. Turkish navy is better than the Egyptian navy. The make a small landing up here. Also, sorry if any of this is unrealistic. I try to explain, but this is just a series made for fun. I'm not trying to make the most realistic series of YouTube. I'm just trying to have fun and entertain you guys while you don't have anything to do. And, and the results of the series make me see that you guys like it. So I'm going to continue this series. And I think you guys are excited for this war. So I'll go on. So Turkish troops are not marching, making a landing, and Egypt did not predict such a strong landing. Basically, everything is going horrible for NATO. Cyrenaica is still doing good in the desert. But wait a second. Cyrenaica was Turkish backed. You guys know what that means. Oh yeah. But wait, both Libyas are backed by CSTO. We see that Libya is officially back and united. The population, of course, is epic, but now they have to defend their country from the Mediterranean Navy. And since Turkey is helping, they're able to take back one province from the Italians, which still managed to hold on uh, in the rest though. But basically, this front also leads Egypt to lose another front because they need to retreat. They need to defend their homeland. They basically leave all of Sudan to die. And now we see that only Egyptian mainland is existing. The population of Egypt at this point is pretty tired of war. They don't even know why they joined NATO. At this point, government just decides to help their people. And with that, we see another country leaving NATO. And with this, the African front is almost over. Not yet, though. Russia, meanwhile, is fighting in the Black Sea also now. And they decide that knocking out Romania is a good idea. So they do. And they want to connect up with the Turkish allies. And also trying to connect up with Hungary, which is able to do this. And Romania is basically sandwiched now. And also Bulgaria. Macedonia is weak. Greece is strong, but not that much. Kosovo falls. And only Albania is trying to stop Serbia. They have mountains in the south, but not in the north, I think. For this reason, Serbia is already marching. Croatia is holding on, and they might be able to defeat. be careful because this front is kind of stalemated except for this. Italy now has to protect Slovenia, which is pretty mad. But now let's actually go over to the Baltic. Estonia. Estonia is officially gone. They get wiped out. Wiped out. And the Russian Navy is more equipped than the Finnish Navy, so they're actually starting to win battles and planning a landing, planning to do a counterattack against Finland because things are getting dire. Now since it's May, June, basically second winter war, be a third one, and they keep on fighting in Finland doesn't manage to take the Pokola Peninsula. This is a failure, but Finland is still performing really well. Poland is now encircled, and they will go on and they will actually do something because they haven't done anything for them. And they will lock in, really lock in absolutely, winning on every single front. Lot of troops for lots of people. Poland is NATO last hope. And for now, they're holding. But CSTO troops are becoming a lot. The Balkan front is falling. The African front is falling. The American front is not going to fall soon. Poland destiny is ticking. NATO time is ticking. The hegemony of this alliance, which lasted for a while, might be second too. We might see a new alliance ruling the world. Ruling the world so whole. As Russia has done it. This island has been captured by Russian forces, Russian Navy, Russian drones, everything. It was a massive military operation which defeated Sweden, which managed to evacuate its citizens, which are now here. But Russia isn't interested in invading Sweden. Instead, they offer peace to them. This is just a warning for other countries that decide to not surrender. Sweden is not one of them, though. They care about their people, care about everything. For this reason, they're living this for Finland is kind of a betrayal. And now things are going to get tough. Finland time is ticking. Oh yeah, how is oh it's not going good. French Guiana falls officially. Of course this is all occupied provinces. It's nothing official. With French Guiana officially conquered, NATO is kind of no. The US are still they're getting close now to Venezuela. Thanks to Dutch Island, they're starting. Despite Venezuelans new, despite their technology, there's nothing that can prevent a US landing. The war might be over in the Americas. Or is it? Well, guys, we're going back to the Balkans because Turkey is locking in along with Serbia and the capital of Bulgaria is captured. I'm sorry, Bulgarian nationalists, but it happened. It's the end. It's also the end of Albania, which decides to surrender though, and to not fight another bloody battle. Basically, everyone that surrendered is considered a betrayal for the US leader, so they get kicked out of NATO basically. And the alliance is shrinking. Sure, they're still pretty big, but for how long? Also, I know Romania's shape is weird as so this is kind of a mountainous area, so hard leading. Russia at this point is not even that much focused over here. They're leaving goal to Turkey to this point. Is going to capture Bucharest. The Romanians are not going to surrender though, and with thanks to their nationalism, they managed to push back and to completely change the war and conquer the war. Not just kidding. Romania is not lasting at all. Serbia manages to cross the mountains somehow, and Croatia is scared. They're scared. They're getting overwhelmed. Their navy is winning against Serbia though. Italy at this point just retreats south of Africa to protect Slovenia. And this is great news for CSTO. And also NATO discontent fills the air. Most people are tired of war. Most people are asking, why do we need to do this? Let's just surrender. People are dying on all fronts. Not only that, US did a lot of bold moves which led to the and also the government of Estonia, which caused all of this chaos. With this, no, it's not. With this, we see that CHDO morale is getting higher, and decide that they need to defeat Poland, as Poland is a new enemy. Czechia was holding on thanks to German aid, but now Poland is fighting a lot of troops. Of Russian troops also, which are getting close. It seems like the Polish miracle is ending. Poland is still kind of holding on, but they're risking. They're risking even more as Russian troops march into the territory. Not only that, but they're planning something to knock Poland out of the war. But first, they need to occupy Finland. They actually did it. They actually did it in July, August of 2026. They actually make it finally the counterattack. And Finland is pushed back all the way. It's a brutal counterattack. Finland is another country that cares about its people. Norwegian aid is still saving the country, but eventually Finland decides to surrender and leave NATO once and for all. Well, the US says that the situation cannot get worse, but it's getting worse. Cuba, this wonderful country, democracy, yeah? Just a few episodes ago, they were actually close and leaning to Russia. But then there was a coup. Well, that's it. Conservatism. Cuba Cuba is gone from NATO. And this is kind of a bad move. And now American troops are stuck in Venezuela. American troops were doing good though. Industrial areas. They're already sieging the capital. They're probably going to win the war in South America, but this kind of messes everything up. Then we see this happening. Russian troops are marching even more now that the Finnish front is over. Poland is getting, and now the massive Nepal operation happens. The objective is to completely rule over the Baltic Sea and to defeat NATO in this front once and for all. It doesn't go well for NATO. Russia prepared this to the very end, prepared this pretty well. Operation launches in October of 2026, maybe November, maybe December, and they managed to do this. First, they capture small islands. Germany is kind of scared, but they decide to not risk going for Germany. They go for Poland instead, as they planned, and this is weakening Poland a lot. Polish resistance is still going to be brave though. And some Polish troops are going to save Czechia for now, which is utterly brave. They're also going to save Warsaw, but for how much? This is another warning to all countries that don't surrender. The invasion continues. Polish resistance makes it difficult to continue to fight though. To take fronts, to take this one, and also this one, and then there is a stalemate for now, but it's not going well. Majority of Europe is coming to the aid of Poland now though, so the front might change. Well, the war is over. So Chinese troops. The war is almost over. Sorry guys, I was saying it's over, but it's not. Serbia is now making this. China and North Korea are actually helping the Balkan front. Croatia capitulates. Italy is now getting scared. And they're not switching sides. Nope. They're not switching sides. They want to fight the Russians. They want to fight the Russians. And they decide to fight a massive army over here. And the objective is to try to change the front. The mission surely is a brave one, but it's not enough. CSTO troops managed to win the battle. Italy has to retreat, and now their homeland is in danger. The destiny of Italy will see it later though. Then Sweden left. Norway. Norway's still kind of fighting. Russia will just send some troops in like maybe December, January 2026, January 2027. They will just do this. This will be enough for Norway to just surrender. Well, there was almost a year of war, but it's almost over. This is the feeling they have. Meanwhile, this thing is frozen again. Bering Strait. How's it going? Well, the Americans are now having a slight defeat because of all is up. So Russia is winning slightly there too. That's just that's just low-key crazy. Norwegian troops gone to the heartland of Europe is kind of in danger. Not only that, now they're planning an operation which they already wanted to do before. They already wanted to do this operation before. But this time it will succeed actually. Malta gets conquered by CSTO troops, mainly Libyan, Turkish, that but they manage to conquer Malta. Italy is scared even more. They might suffer two-front invasion. This might be an hour-long video. Invading Italy will be a hell of a challenge though. So they're probably not going to do that. They will try to break Italy from inside. They will try to break NATO from the inside, and they will make a cyber attack to completely disrupt communication line. CSTO will do this to try to weaken NATO's morale even more. This should be enough. Polish communications are getting cut off. Warsaw wants to send a message. They want to say, help me, because the front is getting even worse. They want help, they want aid, but they cannot say anything. Communication lines are cut off. Poland has to move their capital. Polish troops? No, no. So going to be a cyber attack in Copenhagen, which will disrupt communication lines, will scare the country, because Russia will also do this. This is just fear. Denmark cannot risk losing its capital. They they surrender. Romania is gone. With this, now we see Germany. Germany also suffers a lot, and they're scared. But they cannot just leave NATO like this. We're also going to be attacking Italy, which makes them take all of this. I know this might be excessive, but the cyber attack is devastating. Okay, maybe all of this is absolutely kind of devastating because now it's active. And also, the whole operation officially happens and they have success because the communication lines are cut off. They didn't know about the invasion. Italy is in fear. This video is going to be hour long. Sorry, guys. But then we see a really shocking event. Luxembourg. They leave NATO. They're tired of all of this. The US thought that Luxembourg was a loyal ally, and they fell. Not only that, some troops are actually arriving and helping Venezuela. Now, this threat is not being frozen again. And some Russian troops are going there, and the Americans are losing the battle. With Chinese aid, which is doing stuff. The Americans are getting defeated in the Bering Strait. Would this mean something in the future? Hopefully not. At least that's what the Americans think. Then we see Czechia. Czechia getting attacked. And there's not much they can do. German troops are helping, but they already have three fronts to worry about. This is getting scary. But then the Russians, or some other CSTO member rather, but they see an opportunity in this region of Catalonia. They're neutral for because they don't have a gun, but they make them pop out. They make them rebel. They found these rebels, but they found them. They don't fund them. They fund them heavily, like really heavily. Spanish economy wasn't doing that good. Now they have to fight a war. Population is even more demoralized. See, they also make Galicia pop out. This is even more crazy. But now, even the Basque country, they're doing anything just to defeat the Spanish. This, the Americans accuse Spain of incompetence, which it kind of is. And US leader keeps messing up, and they even kick Spain out of NATO. This makes angry a lot of countries. Belgium leaves after this. We see Portugal leaving. We also see Canada. Canada is done with this. As this is just a US backed game. After this, war resent is going worse, even worse. Poland. Poland keeps trying to heavily resist. Most of the population was fighting, but this time nothing can save them. Russia has done it. They have conquered Poland. Now Germany is waiting for the fight. Russian Navy has already landed everywhere. Just the army is huge. Germany is getting attacked. This leads the Dutch leaving because they're too tired of the war, but really, really tired. They don't want the same destiny as the US. Iceland is staying because they actually want to stay. I know this is crazy. CSTO troops officially knock back the US, which is trying to restore order everywhere, but they aren't understanding anything. Like, really anything. They're now fighting the Cuban rebels, but they get kicked back. They try to beat the Russians in the Bering Strait, but they get kicked back. And someone, China, they somehow, they get over here and they finally did it. They managed to land on the US. They managed to land on Alaska. This is an absolute shocker. This is kind of the final blow for other countries. France surrenders. That's really it for now. Except for one. Iceland finally lives. Slovakia. All the CSTO troops are now marching, and the Czech government collapses officially. Germany now has to fight a huge army, but they really cannot do it anymore. Italy could help them. No. Italy Navy resistance saves Venice. Winning Italy is kind of not comfortable. They instead decide to go over and take Sardinia, and they manage to do this. Taking Sardinia is another huge blow. This is really it. This is a really long video. I know, guys. This is really, really long. I might cut it into two parts, actually, but I don't think I'm doing it. Hamburg gets captured by the Russians. By the way, this is kind of over. German population is a lot. Taking all of Germany is probably an hard task. Russia could do it, but they're tired of the war actually. It's 2027. You know, it's May, June, July. They want peace now. They're tired of this year-long war in all of Europe. And they offer peace to the remaining NATO members. And a country does accept. That country is Italy, which has been tired. And they officially state their surrender. And at this point, also see Germany surrendering, leaving the UK and the US as the only NATO countries fighting against a lot of the world. Actually, also Ethiopia and not all this country she didn't had because they were a temporary member. So we see that now they're going to do something. They want to break the UK from inside. That's what they're thinking. So decide to do some another funny little cyber attack, which does weaken the UK and makes them think about surrendering. Only that all of people's UK government isn't approved, and though we also see Welsh people revolting, Wales declares their independence. This is kind of nail in the coffin. After this, the UK just leaves. Now we only have the US and NATO. But you can't really have an alliance with yourself, do you? Well, China kept doing their operation. They were winning. Thanks also to Russian help, which now is arriving in mass. Everybody are ready to do this together. They want to take down the US. Alaska has been completely captured, and now they will do a united front. China is about to do to get close and decide to do another cyber attack on this area, and they managed to land because of the communications. After this, US president understands that it might be over. All his election time, well, people already dislike him. This war goes on. He's not getting reelected. So he decides to surrender to keep himself having a good opinion. This is an historic moment. CSTO has managed, after 10 minutes, 22 seconds of video, maybe a little more, but after this, CSTO has managed to defeat NATO hegemony thanks to overall smartness, being able to do some things that NATO didn't expect. Oh, the Welsh revolt got defeated, by the way. All the other ones they succeed, this one didn't. And now we can take a look at the peace treaty. So, welcome to the new world. Oh, wait. Alright, now actually done. Welcome to the new world. New peace treaty. There's a lot to break it down, so one because the video is already pretty long, but you can see Germany, Poland. Poland still exists, barely. Those are military bases of not Russia, because this isn't Russia. This is the Eurasian Union. The Eurasian Union is the next plan of the Russian leader. This is what he wanted to do now. He wanted to make actually Eurasian Union, which is not the Soviet Union. He wants to unite Europe and Asia. So where this is where the name Eurasian Union comes from. And this is a surely interesting thing plan. You can see that US only lost Alaska. The Amazonians got a lot of land from this. Brazil is weak. Oh yeah, this civil war ended with probably all of the land took from the rebellion gave them. And yes, this is it for today. Oh yeah, Sardinia Sicily got independence. United. Basque Country, Galicia, and Catalonia got their independence. And thank you guys for watching this episode of the World. If you did your stuff. Oh, Nicaragua, poor guy. Nicaragua is back. And you can see guys that this is still good. We'll speak about it in the next episode. But for now, see you guys in the next video.